Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, January 30th. Trying to get the lighting to work better. And this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. First up, we may have saw an update earlier this week. Google did not confirm it. Google says it's not Panda or Penguin. But they definitely saw some fluctuations, and obviously Google's constantly changing stuff, so it could be. I named it the Juno algorithm update. Of course, there's nothing going on, but Juno was after the blizzard in the northeast of the United States, so I figured it's just around the same timing. So, and we definitely saw a lot of chatter around people saying there was an update. So again, Google has not confirmed it. They actually said, or kind of implied, John Mueller said he doesn't think it was related to Penguin or Panda. He didn't deny that there was an update or wasn't an update, but he did say, or didn't say, that I don't think it's related to Penguin or Panda at the moment. Maybe he doesn't have that information yet, or maybe he doesn't know, or maybe it was nothing. So Penguin's obviously that demands a lot of people. There hasn't been an update around Penguin since probably early December, and people who are hit by this probably want to know when it's going to happen or when it's going to be an update. And John Mueller addressed it again in a Hangout this past week, saying it should be faster than the last update. He also said we're generally moving to a little bit of a faster update cycle there, specifically Penguin, but I can't say that it will be monthly. There may be some changes there, subtle differences with timing, but it should be faster than the last. So Google's hopefully going to refresh Penguin more often, which will help those who are trying to get out of it, not help those who are not in it yet. Related to that, somebody was complaining there wasn't a Panda update since October. Again, I'm not exactly sure when the last Panda update was. The last official Panda update, at least announced by Google, was in October, but they may have done updates to those more frequently. And this morning in Hangout, Google's John Mueller basically said that they try to do these updates regularly. Sometimes they can't do it as regular as they like, but they say Google's basically, he said, it is not the case that we kind of artificially stop them just to bug webmasters around that. So they're not slowing down updates to kind of like filibuster, annoy webmasters or SEOs around their updates. They have a reason for not pushing out an algorithm update, and that is specific to something that's going on. Maybe they're not very happy with the results, or whatever it might be, but they're not doing it specifically to annoy webmasters. And this was in the Google Webmaster Hangout this morning at around the 8-minute mark in that video. Google came out with a new feature this week around how they handle country-specific or language-specific content. Now, they always have recommended that you use a separate website. Let's talk about the lighting sticks. Okay, whatever. Google's always recommended or typically recommends and still recommends you use a separate website or separate URL for different language-specific content, as well as different country-specific content. So if you have content in French, maybe host it on the French TLD. But Google said there are a lot of websites that still use dynamic serving or locale-aware serving, and sorry, I clicked the wrong one. Locale-aware content. So basically what happens is what the browser will do, or the website will do, is actually say, all right, you're coming from France. We're going to give you French content on our .com. Or they have their French language settings on their browser set to, I want to see French. I'm a French user, I'm a French reader. So they'll go ahead and look at that setting and say, I'm going to give you the French website, but on the .com. Now Google's able to handle that now. Two ways, by using geo-distributed crawling, where Googlebot will crawl starting using an IP address that appears to be coming from outside the US. And based off that, Google will say, all right, if the IP address appears to be coming from France, Googlebot will fake that it's coming from France, and it will find the French content on the .com, whatever URL you use. Or again, the language-dependent crawling, where Googlebot will accept the language HTTP header in the request that it's in different request languages. So again, Google's Pierre Farr, who's behind this, said they strongly still recommend having separate URLs for this type of thing, for locale, using rel alternate hreflang. They also said it's the early days and this might change a lot, so keep an eye on that. And locale-aware crawling gets enabled algorithmically if they detect this benefit, so you don't have to do anything for this. So this will actually open up better understanding for Googlebot to crawl web pages that don't use separate URLs for locale-specific content. So this is very interesting. We'll see how this impacts sites going forward. But it's definitely a very big change in terms of Google's algorithm. Google also announced this morning that Googlebot now supports one of the latest versions of SSL, or what's called TLS. They now support TLS version 1.2, as well as the other ones, 1.1, SSL version 3, and so forth. So if you are using the latest version of TLS, you're supported. Google announced it this morning, and TLS stands for Transport Layer Security, which again is the HTTPS and SSL protocol. So Google announced, like I told you this about a month ago, that they're working on something fun to Google Webmaster Tools around search queries. So they actually announced this morning, or this week, that they are going to allow webmasters, SEOs like you guys, to actually go ahead and request to beta test or alpha test this new search queries report. So there's an online form. You can access it on our website at January 27th by clicking on the form to sign up and be part of this query, the search query beta test or alpha test. And then they want you to give feedback along the way so they can actually improve it. But this is your chance to actually check out a new cool report that Google's working on around search queries and Google Webmaster Tools. Around Google Webmaster Tools, they're also looking to ways to improve the user interface, how friendly it is, where things go. So they're actually having a user study around that. If you want to sign up for that as well, you can, and they'll basically need about 15 minutes of your time. Google mobile snippets now will show the robots.txt being blocked if you are blocking critical files like your JavaScript, your CSS, and other files. So for example, here's a description for deals.dollartree.com where a description for this result is not available because of the site's robots.txt file, and learn more link. So it's basically saying, hey, we can't access your website. We know you should rank #1 for this, but we're blocking something and we're going to show your website. It is a mobile-friendly web. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But we can't access everything there. And if you go to on the desktop, you'll see the description shows up. And this is Google. So Google has been doing this on the desktop side for a while, but now they actually started doing it on the mobile side as well. Google Analytics has added a new AdWords report or dimension around query word count. So basically now, you know how it is, like typically you could say, people who search longer, like 3-4 keyword phrase depth keywords, convert better or spend more time on your site. Now Google has a report for that where you can actually see, it shows the query word count, and it shows you specific data around, let's say, people getting to your website from AdWords in the AdWords report for 3 keywords, for 2 keywords, for 4. And it actually breaks down how people are using your site by query, again, only on the AdWords level. The not provided stuff doesn't really help the organic stuff. Google's recommending that AdWords advertisers who used product listing ads in the past, which was retired back, should now go ahead and download their data before March 23rd, and by March 23rd, Google will actually go ahead and delete your data. So if you ever use that, you should definitely go and download it. Google AdSense ads have a new user interface. At least some people are seeing this. So you can actually see, here's a website. It has the round circles, but it used to have just one round circle. Now it's showing multiple with round circle bullet points, which again, Google's constantly testing these things to actually increase click-through rate and obviously more dollars for everybody. Google Analytics added a trash can, so if you by accident delete accounts, profiles, or whatever it might be, you have 35 days to restore that by going to the trash can on the properties section of the site. So you click on trash can and you can restore stuff that may have been deleted. And finally, if you haven't heard Matt Cutts talk for a while and you miss him, he gave a talk a few weeks ago at the UNC Chapel Hill, basically talking about his early days, or the early days at Google. It's a great video. It actually has some things about webmasters and SEOs, including Greg Boser and some other people in the video. So you definitely want to take a look at it. He's a great speaker and he talks a lot about different things. I summarized it here, specifically around stuff, or around the webmaster and community stuff. Also around how he first got into Safe Search, talking about PageRank, and obviously Search King and King started stuff like around lawsuits. So you definitely want to take a look at that. He also gave his tips on what you should go ahead and do for yourself, his takeaways, I guess. So definitely take a look at that. In any event, that is a Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, January 30th. This is the search news we covered over the past week at the Search Roundtable at saroundtable.com. Everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next. Bye.